Hey there, friends. We've got our weekly energy update cooked up and ready to go. So, I've pulled a couple of cards that are specific to the week ahead and also have some interesting transformational principles involved in them. So, as you well know, you can always grab a recorded reading with me down below. We'll also be hopping into some very interesting stuff this coming week in the community portal, which is a place where we do actual practices that help to open us up and transform the blockages so that the things that we're really wanting to cultivate in our life start to become available and there's more access to alignment with our deepest self and our highest self. So let's take a look at our reading for the week. Your first card in the coming days is our World card. And this is such an auspicious card. This is the final card in the tarot deck, and it speaks to this kind of fullness, a completion. Sometimes it is a representation of what's called a minor conjunctio in alchemy, which is like a satori moment, a moment where we go, holy smokes, I see the fullness, the balance. It's a moment of enlightenment. So often what this represents in a tarot reading and specific to the week ahead is that something might be coming to an end for you and coming to an end in a healthy way, like a graduation. Now this could be something really specific and mundane, like finishing a course or a business project of some kind. However, it can also be a little bit more of an internal process and a little bit looser or more challenging to put your finger on, like a cycle of growth. A period of learning. For some of you, this might look like a period where you've changed the way that you're orienting yourself towards love, or you've gone through a cycle of having to learn something about abundance, and it's finally coming to an end. And often this can be marked by a moment of feeling really peaceful or feeling really complete in yourself. So you might do a little bit of checking in. This is something that I love, is taking time to journal about what it is that's alive for you in your life right now. What are some of the things that you've learned in the last couple months or the last year? Because something is coming to an end, and that means that there's room for something new to start to begin. And this is re-emphasized by your second card, which is the Three of Wands, which is that moment of being able to take the next step. There's new momentum happening in your life. Now, often with something like an end or an in-between, a chapter change, like the World card, we don't fully know what it is that's going to show up next. And this is the same with our Three of Wands. There's not a full sense of what it is that this next thing is going to be, whether that's in your relational world and you're going, oh, I think I'm actually ready for a new relationship, or in the realm of your purpose where you're recognizing that you have room for a new creative project, or there's something new that wants to start, but you don't have all the details yet. So the Three of Wands is definitely that kind of energy. You can feel that there's some new momentum. You may have recently reached out to some new jobs, or you've been in correspondence with somebody in a new way, and you're waiting to see how life is going to respond to you. Now, one of the best things that you can do with this particular type of energy is to do some meditation or some contemplation of the unknown, which means if you sort of unpeel the different parts of yourself that are trying to look at and plan and figure out what's going to happen next, and you kind of take those off for a moment and you just sit with, I'm not sure what's going to happen next. And you just feel the energy of that, right? There can be some excitement, there can be a bit of uncertainty that comes with that kind of flavor, but you just kind of rest in, I don't know what's going to happen next. And that's okay, right? We just get kind of curious and explore the space of not knowing. Now, the reason that I say this is that the final card for your week is this Two of Swords. And this is precisely that energy that can show up when there's a gap, when we're in a bit of the in-between. Something has finished and we're not exactly sure what the next place is going to be. That place of uncertainty can touch something deep inside of us that maybe was uncertain when we were younger, when we were youthful, and being uncertain was terrifying, right? So when we're willing to sort of sit with the uncertainty, which is very much this Two of Swords, I don't quite know which direction to go. And it's scary. It's scary to not know. When we're willing to sit with some of that uncertainty and breathe and sort of create some ease in the nervous system, there's an enormous amount of energy that rests in that place that's afraid to not know. It's like a ball of energy that gets kind of tight, and it's like, I'm afraid to not know what's going to happen next. But if we sit with it and we kind of go, I don't know what's going to happen next, and that's okay. In time, it can start to relax and open. And then instead of us going, okay, I got to figure out what needs to happen up here, I need to figure out the next move, what can happen is the energy that's hanging out in this, that energy moves through the system. It's not locked up in the belly or in the heart or somewhere. It starts to move through the nervous system, through the energy system, and it becomes the ingenuity. It becomes the knowing of what needs to happen next. So I'm just going to say this one more time in a different way, which is that when something is really scary, right, we feel it in our gut or we feel it in our chest or something like that, it's scary, we pop up into the mind and we try to fix it. I'm going to figure out what needs to happen. I'm going to create the perfect map, or I'm going to create the perfect thing that's going to make me not feel scared anymore. And what I'm inviting is, what happens if you go and you be with the part of you that's afraid? And you just sort of pause with it, and you breathe, and create room for this particular piece. Because once it starts to melt, the answer to what wants to happen next just comes. And it may not come as like a word that's like, you are going to do A, B, and C. It comes as the type of energy and the type of competency to be able to solve the situation in front of you without it being tight and closed and unavailable. So you might find yourself sort of coming into a place of both enjoyment and excitement. So this is some of the principles. When we up level, we come into a new realm of energy, a new realm of possibility. Something has been completed. We've sort of graduated to the next level. And one of the things that happens is we get the reciprocal energy that's going to push against us. It's like a new element of the shadow that's saying, are you ready to grow into this next level? Are you ready to become hardy enough and savvy enough to move in this new realm? And that's what this can show up as. And so it's important to find some tools that will help you to be able to be with that uncertainty and be able to navigate it with a different kind of wisdom and a different kind of capacity. So I actually see this as a really healthy week. It's kind of like there's new energy and there's new possibilities that are showing up. And there's a little bit of that anxiety of like, can I step into this with more integrity? Can I step into this next level? And the answer is yes, you absolutely can. And it might require a little bit of presence and consciousness and loving yourself. So this is your reading for the week ahead, and I always love tuning in with you. Feel free to reach out, say hello. I loved all the comments last week about my crazy wild hair while I was traveling, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Hope to see some of you in the community portal for our practice session, and take good care.